What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Happy Friday. We have made it to the end of the week, and I think it's time to hit our final mock draft of the year of this format, by which I mean a pre-recorded video where I'm just drafting against basically the aggregate big board, and I'm able to kind of will reality into what I want it to be, and I just get to think things through before I actually put the draft together. There are going to be other mock drafts, especially next week. There's going to be a lot, but this will probably be the last mock draft in this pre-recorded video format. This video is powered by BetUS TV. Before I get into the mock draft here, I do want to talk about a couple of things. First of all, yesterday's Bleacher Report creator mock draft was a lot of fun. We went for almost 3 hours. We went through the entire first round. There were trades, there were conversations, there were a lot of interesting things going on. And it seemed like the people who watched it did have a good deal of fun. Now, real quick, one thing I want to say is I know that the Bleacher Report app was having some problems showing the stream. I know it was restarting for some people. If you were somebody who was there and you were unable to get past a certain point in the stream because it would restart, I know that, and a lot of people already know this, they were restreaming it to YouTube. I didn't know about the YouTube restream until midway through the stream, so I wasn't able to let people know about that. But if you actually look through YouTube, and I'll put the link in the description if I can remember it, there is a possibility of just watching it there, and obviously now it's up in video on demand form. So if you missed the Bleacher Report stream and you can't, or you weren't able to watch it on the Bleacher Report app, you can watch it on YouTube. So I'll try to link it down in the description so you guys can check that out. I imagine that it'll get time-stamped by somebody in the comments at some point, so you can check that out in whatever format you want to. So yeah, give that a shot. It was a lot of fun, and hopefully I get to do it again next year. All right, so today we're going to be doing this mock draft, and then we're going to be doing a couple more evaluation videos later today. And then that'll just take us into the weekend. And tomorrow we will really wrap up our player evaluations with one final pair of videos. Okay, so I will say this much. If you don't want to watch the whole Bleacher Report creator mock draft stream, my first pick in this mock draft is going to be the same pick that I made in that creator mock draft. Mykel Williams, the edge rusher out of Georgia. He is the guy that I got at 18. I was thrilled to get him. I believe that Mykel Williams is a true blue chipper in this draft. And if we could get him at 18, I'm very excited about that. I was surprised that he fell that far. I don't really expect him to fall this far in the actual draft. Edge rushers are very valued. I will say Mykel Williams may end up being a little bit of a better fit for a 4-3 than a 3-4. He may be better off with his hand in the dirt, but I think he's so good, he will be good no matter what. Speed to power game is incredible. He's got great length. He's got a couple of pass rush moves, and most of the issues with him just have to do with how raw he is, which is totally fine by me, because I don't need an edge rusher to be ready to go out there and give me 8 to 10 sacks right now. We've got enough edge rushers for 2025. I'm thinking about Mykel Williams for the next 8 years. And over the next 8 years, I think you're getting potentially one of the best edge rushers in football. I think he's going to be great against the run. I think he's going to really develop a nice pass rushing bag. And I think he is going to be as good as anybody in this draft when it comes to the edge rusher position outside of Abdul Carter. I would take him over Jalen Walker. I would take him over Mike Green. I would take him over James Pierce. Anybody else you care to name, I think Mykel has them beat. And if we get him at 18, that is one of those picks that is going to get me out of my seat. I'm going to be excited about that. So it was my first pick in the creator mock draft. Well, it was the only pick because we only did one round. And it's going to be my first pick in this final mock draft. Before I go any further, though, I do want to tell you about my friends over at BetUS TV. Sports are happening. Basketball playoffs just getting underway. You've got hockey playoffs about to get underway. Baseball has started. We're now a few weeks into the baseball season. There's still obviously stuff going on in football with the draft coming up. BetUS TV can make it all more fun. It can all make it all a lot more interesting. So check out BetUS TV. Give them a shot. See what's up, and find ways to enjoy sports all year, no matter what. BetUS TV, give them a chance. Okay, so that is my first, excuse me, that is my first pick. Obviously, positionally, I know that can be a little bit confusing for some people. I want to stress this, and this is going to be the case how I look at most of this draft. I'm not thinking about the immediate needs. I'm thinking about the big picture. Okay, so when we get to the second round, I know I take this guy a lot, but I just can't get off of him. I think this guy's going to be great. I think that if you could get this guy in the middle of the first round, he would be tremendous value. And right now, the aggregate big board has him right around that mid-second round range. So I went with Jaden Higgins, the wide receiver out of Iowa State. We need an outside receiver, especially because one of our nominal outside receivers this year, Cooper Kupp, not a long-term solution at all, in my opinion. I like him. I think he'll be good for what he is, but we need long-term solutions at receiver, and I don't really think we have one at the moment. And JSN is the one guy who you're like, yeah, that's going to be a Seahawk for the next at least 5 to 6 years, and he's going to be great. But we need guys on the outside. Jaden Higgins, I think he brings immense potential as an outside receiver. I like his speed. I like his hands. I think he's a pretty good route runner. There are some things that he can't do because he is a little bit, it's a little like DK Metcalf where he doesn't have the full range of route running. He can't run every route, but I do think that Jaden Higgins is going to be a pretty good route runner at the next level. I think that he brings a lot of positive things to the table here. I wouldn't even hate getting him in the first round. I like him that much, but if you can get him in the middle of the second round, I think that is a great pick. So he's going to be my pick at 50 for the Seattle Seahawks. And then at 52, I'm taking another pass catcher, and I know that there is a lot of people who feel like we don't need a tight end right now. Again, I know we don't need a tight end right now, but we're going to need a tight end soon. Noah Fant last year of his deal. A.J. Barner, I like A.J. Barner, but I don't know if he can be a number one pass-catching tight end. I know that Mr. Kubiak likes his tight ends, so I'm going with Mason Taylor of LSU. He's a guy who, honestly, with the way he's been moving in the last couple of weeks, he may not be on the table at 52. You might not be able to get this guy at 52. He's moving up to where he might even be a late first-round pick. People are really liking Mason Taylor, but right now the aggregate has him right around here, so we'll go with it for now, and hopefully he's actually there, even if with a week left. I feel like he's a guy who's a late riser. Really good all-around tight end prospect, a lot of potential. Again, not somebody who's necessarily going to be able to be great right off the bat, but again, I ask, who really cares about that right now? Not me. I don't care, and if he doesn't play a snap as a rookie, yeah, I would be a little bit disappointed because I want to see what's cooking with him, but we don't need him to play big snaps right now. He is going to be a future developmental guy. He's a guy who you're thinking about in 2026, 2027, and that's what I'm thinking about because that's the direction this team took in the offseason when they made some of the moves that they made. So Mason Taylor, tight end out of LSU. Third round. Finally, we go to the offensive line here, and I'm going with Marcus Mbow of Purdue, left guard prospect, in my opinion. His arms are too short to play outside, so I think he is going to end up on the interior. I think he's going to end up as a left guard. Great athlete, going to be really good moving around in space, going to be really good for an outside zone scheme, I think. Going to be really good in a zone scheme just in general. Some of his shortcomings can easily be overcome by the right scheme. And I do feel like, even though there is an argument to be made that the NFL is starting to move away from zone-based blocking and into more power-based, I don't think that's really going to hold for most teams. I think that's going to be very situational. So I look at a guy like Marcus Mbow, and I think he's perfect for the modern offense. He's a guy you want to be putting on the move. He's a guy who is skilled, and I think that if you need to take a year for him to get his feet underneath him, then again, I can live with that. I'm okay with that because I'm not thinking about 2025 that hard with some of these picks. I'm thinking about beyond that. And maybe Mbao is not going to be very good as a rookie, but I believe that he will be, down the line, a very good left guard, and I'm willing to wait a little bit for that because I'm thinking about the big picture with this team. All right, so that's Marcus Mbao. My final pick in the top 100 is Savion Williams, wide receiver out of TCU. Very fun. Very, very fun. Worst case scenario, he's a fun gadget player like a Cordarrelle Patterson. But there is a best case scenario where he becomes like a DK Metcalf, where he becomes a really destructive outside receiver, great combination of size and speed and strength. So I look at Savion Williams and I think to myself, at least you're getting a fun gadget player, at minimum. But I believe there's a big ceiling here. This guy could be great. This guy could be, again, he's not as fast as DK Metcalf, and he does come with a couple of the same shortcomings. Like, he doesn't have the best hands, he doesn't have the best route running, but you know what? Yeah, you can try to figure this out. You can try to figure this out if you take him with a 92nd overall pick. And even if you don't totally figure it out, you're still going to have a lot of fun with him. I think any good offensive coordinator is going to be able to look at this guy and go, hey, I can find a way to make this really crank. And the upside, like you're getting somebody who I think is very safe with Jaden Higgins at one receiver, but then you need another receiver because we're thin there. And I think Savion Williams is the guy you're really trying to hit out of the park with. You're getting somebody who, yeah, it may not work out, but it's more than worth the risk. Okay, now we're on to day 3 here. I'm taking Jamari Caldwell, nose tackle from Oregon, with my 4th round pick. I think that Jamari Caldwell is one of the more intriguing late round nose tackles you can get in this draft. He has the wide body and the size to eat up space in the middle. He has the ability to take up blockers. He has the ability to be a true space eater in the middle there. Does have a little bit going on beyond that as well. He's not just a pure trash can full of dirt in the middle. He can make some plays. He can do some stuff. He can move around a little bit. I wouldn't lean on it too heavily, but I do think we need a nose tackle. We need one of these trash cans full of dirt. And Jamari Caldwell, I think he's kind of your last stop before the talent level of the nose tackles really just falls off a cliff. I think that with Jamari Caldwell, you are getting somebody who you can start pretty much day one and get decent nose tackle reps out of. Okay, now we're on to round 5 here, and we're taking Jalen Reed, safety out of Penn State. Versatility. I think he's going to be able to do free safety and box safety stuff competently. I don't know if he'll ever be good at any of it, but I think he's a perfect backup. He's somebody that you want to back up both safety spots, somebody who can give you reps in the box, somebody who can give you reps as a center field robber, somebody who can give you reps as a deep safety. So I look at him and I go, he's the perfect third safety in the event of an injury, in the event of losing a player. He can go out there and hold his own. And that's what's important in this Mike Macdonald defense. You don't need safeties that are necessarily superstars at one thing and then bad at the other thing. You need guys who are ubiquitous. You need guys who are multi-talented. And I think Jalen Reed would be that guy. So he is my 5th round pick. Remember, we have 2 5th round picks. So let's get to our second one here. It is Connor Colby, a right guard from Iowa. Arguably, I'm stacking right guards a little too high here, but we can always let somebody go. You've got Bradford, you've got Lomea, and then you've got Haynes. Maybe one of those guys moves over to left guard. Maybe you end up releasing somebody. Maybe you decide, look, we got to move on from guy X. But Connor Colby got some good movement skills. I think he's going to be great in outside zone. I think he's got some good fundamentals in the run game at minimum. Maybe you could develop him to get a little bit more out of him. Maybe you could end up with somebody like somebody who's competent in pass protection. I do have concerns. He is a little bit on the taller side, but I do think that you are getting a relatively powerful right guard that can at least run block decently down the line. If not right now, then maybe later. So Connor Colby to me would be a workable pick. He would probably require you to move on from another guard, but I think most people would be okay with that, honestly. Okay, now we're on to the 7th round here, and my first 7th round pick is going to be a guy who I don't expect to be down there based on my personal rankings, but on the aggregate, he has fallen off a cliff lately. Seems like teams are losing interest in him. Tommy Hill, cornerback out of Nebraska, really unique player. He's one of the heaviest cornerbacks to ever go through the combine process. He's like 97th percentile in weight. So he's pretty slow. He's not exactly a great mover, but I think he'll be really good in zone, and he'll be a weapon in the he'll be a little bit of a weapon in the run game. You are going to need some development here, but I think this is a unique opportunity to get a different kind of corner, somebody who is mostly meant to excel just in zone, and there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. Tommy Hill, I don't know why he's fallen off a cliff lately. I really don't know, but if you could get him in the 7th round, I think that would be great. The unique skill set alone is worthy of a look in my estimation. So, yeah, let's go with Tommy Hill. And our final pick will be Cody Lindenberg, linebacker out of Minnesota. We need linebacker depth, people. Drake Thomas is our backup. I don't know how to feel about that, and I don't even know who our next backup is. So Lindenberg, kind of an interesting late-round linebacker from Minnesota. Not anything too terribly exciting about him, admittedly, which is why he's probably going to be there in the 7th round. But I think Lindenberg offers some decent elements to him in terms of like a depth player. I do think that he belongs in the NFL, and that's enough for me to spend a 7th round pick on him. So immediately he becomes like your 4th linebacker probably, and hey, your 4th linebacker matters. He's going to get on special teams. He might even get on the field defensively. All right, so that's it. That's my final mock draft. Again, it's not my final mock draft total. It's my final mock draft in this format. Let me know what you guys think. I will see you guys later today. More evaluation videos coming. Go Hawks. And yeah, I like this one a lot. It's not necessarily my favorite, but it is a mock draft that I would feel pretty fantastic about if we hit it. So let me know down below. Check out the Bleacher Report. The Bleacher Report stream. And I will see you guys later today. Go Hawks. Thank you to BetUS TV for powering this video.